This week on the Casual Cave podcast, IGN's Filip Miucin doubles down and goes down in flames. A longtime executive leaves EA, and Netflix experimenting with ads during binges. All that and more coming up on the Casual Cave podcast.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Hello, welcome everybody for our fifth installment now of the Casual Cave podcast.
Well, second official.
Second official.
Yeah.
We've been doing some housekeeping. Dominic was up all night trying to figure out our template for.
Wait, fourth official.
Well,
okay, the numbers are we just confused.
We've been doing it for like this is actually, when you think about it, like the way we set up, it's like the fourth time now. Yeah, he's technically right. We've been doing this for like a month now.
Is this the fourth or the fifth?
It's the fourth.
Fourth.
Ah.
Second week though, we're trying to make it official.
We've made it to a month.
Something we never thought was possible, but here we are, guys. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, no, it's been a little rough. I had some trouble with Windows Photos. Don't use that ever to edit anything. I'm just gonna say that. I don't know why. You have a multi-billionaire worth company. I don't know why they can't come up with a proper editor.
I don't care.
And just some housekeeping for you guys. We are working on some additional content. We do have some ideas in the works. Hopefully down the line we can kind of have this be the podcast where everything started and give us to some roots. Even today you'll notice some changes from our last format.
Yeah.
Dominic's now set up with Sony Vegas Pro. He's hopefully not going to punch himself at 5:30.
Stop talking about Windows.
He's lost
I'm
sleep.
running on fumes right now.
He's lost sleep over this, so bear with us, and we'll do everything in our power to support him.
All right, guys. Let's start with kind of a follow-up of last week.
Oh man.
And that is one Filip Miucin, formerly of IGN.
God, this guy just... Oh my... What happened? I mean, I know what happened, but for everyone listening, what happened?
So last week we talked briefly about his almost dumb...
He is technically... He should be...
His quote-unquote apology video that ended up just being like...
Which isn't really apology at all.
There's no apology. There's no apology to Boobs to Gaming. There's no apology to his fans. It's just like, yeah, it just... You don't know what happened.
It happens. It's the editing process, guys. You don't know. You don't know.
Oh,
everyone looks at other reviews before they give their opinion on games. That's what everyone does.
Also, don't forget, he said that he just... Coincidentally, opinions just happen to be the same. They just happen to be the same.
Yeah, so in that same video, he called out Kotaku, and specifically Jason Schreier, asking them, hey, if you go and find anything, let me know.
Bad move, son.
Well, guess what?
Bam.
They found stuff.
No, this guy has some balls, though. I have to admit. He's plagiarized stuff. He's plagiarized other stuff, and then he's calling people out.
To find this stuff that he thinks he did.
I mean, I guess at this point, he's going all in.
It's kind of like him, like giving you, like, hey, here's a knife. Try to stab me.
I mean, to be fair, his career's donezo. Maybe he's...
Well, yeah, he's been fired.
Yeah, Kotaku really kind of buried him. It was, granted, it was deserved. They found several reviews that he straight up just read from Wikipedia on his videos.
Oh, yeah,
there was a Bayonetta 2 review where he straight up copied a forum post of word for word from NeoGAF. Currently, Kotaku has an ongoing thread that's about up to 15 different entries of people just reporting plagiarism.
Well, this dude doesn't know when to stop.
I don't know why. I want to be inside his head.
I'm sorry. It's so hysterical how bad this is.
So, obviously now IGN is completely disassociating themselves from him.
and then they also like remove anything regarding him at all on their site. Like,
yeah, they're deleting him from threads. They're deleting him from searches. He doesn't pop up in any searches now. Review articles that were previously done by him. I think he did the Skyrim ports, and he did the
Switch port. I bet
he did. Yeah, he did the Skyrim Switch port, and he did the Doom Switch port. So now when you go to any of those articles, it's now just been replaced with a statement that states, this article has been removed due to concerns over similarities to work by other authors. The author of this article is no longer employed by IGN.
I got a quick question. For
right,
the Doom and like Skyrim, that's like publicity for the makers. Is that going to get replaced, or that's going to be redirected?
I don't know if IGN's going to go back and re-review those.
No, you can't. I mean, but now you feel bad for. See, this is what happens when you do something like this. now you're kind of taking some publicity away from the games themselves. Like, not just looking from what he did last week, but now looking at those old stuff. That sucks. That really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the IGN's just got to cut their losses and move on.
Oh, yeah, they can afford to lose it. I just feel bad for the games that he took a part of. And now when you think about those games now, like I mentioned last week, you can't help but to think about that now.
The definition of career suicide. He could have stopped. He could have come out with a legitimate apology video, like, "Hey,
That's all he needed to do.
I was a dingus. I didn't. I got caught. This happened during work. I apologize. I apologize to Boomstick Gaming. You can count that it'll never happen again. And I hope one day I can re-earn your trust." Something along those lines. You maybe have a career. Even then, I doubt it. But you maybe have a career. Now you're done.
I want to say so many things about him right now, but I want to keep this podcast family friendly.
All your kids there? Don't worry, we
Or
got you.
keep this clean, but you already know what I think about him.
It just made me so angry. This dude's so full of himself.
I'm
Like
just-
I try to refrain from attacking people, but just watching that video pissed me off. And this is honestly just everything he's gotten, he's deserved.
I don't know. I don't understand. I want to be inside his head. I said this last week, even more so this week.
It's all a ruse.
Like, I don't know why he went after Kotaku. What's the point there?
Well, the dude is undefeated. He has a very high reputation in the games journalism industry. He's even authored a couple of books regarding the subject.
That's all you can do.
I know. I think his brain just fried. There's no other explanation.
And as you guys can tell, the way we're talking, it's frying us out. Like, we're so sick and tired of this guy.
This is one point I wanted to make last week. The job that he has is dream job, I think, of literally millions of gamers across the world. To be able to play video games for work and be able to offer an opinion
On IGN, more or less.
on IGN, which is basically the top. That's the mountain of video games journalism.
And you decide to screw it up because you can't admit a simple mistake. Well,
if you don't enjoy what you're doing, and if you don't have that passion,
then you shouldn't be doing it.
I guarantee you, there's thousands of people that would rather have that job.
I'm just curious as to what was his game plan here? He gets away with this. Let's just say hypothetically, does he keep on doing this?
I mean, you gotta
Keeps calling people out.
He's been doing this for a while, so
Yeah, he's like so conditioned to it that's the only thing he can do. Because guess what? Sounds like he doesn't have any real talent or skill to make something of his own. So that just show you how low he is. And the fact that he hasn't apologized and so forth just keeps him making look very small by the end of the day. So therefore, hey, Philip, you suck. That's all.
if you're listening to this, you suck.
You should be glad I'm only saying you suck. If it wasn't for this podcast, I would have 1,000 more things to say for you. But no, I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, going back to what Dominic said about his game plan, it's obvious that he's been doing this for basically his entire career.
Which is astounding.
Like, I don't trust anything. Even somebody made this point, I think it was Colin Moriarty, where he kind of went back and said, sorry, let's my train of thought.
No, that's how bad the whole Philip thing is.
You don't see it right now, but he's blinded by anger. He's about to cry because of you, Philip.
We're trying to make some original content here, unlike some people out there.
By the way, you guys aren't taking this from Wikipedia?
I don't know.
I read this on Reddit.
I read this on Kotaku.
Don't worry, I read this on NeoGAF. It's fine. This whole podcast we're just reading from previous script.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I've reached my boiling point with this dingus. I don't know if you guys have anything more to say.
It's
okay.
so hysterical to me. You can't be this dumb.
Let's say you're Philip.
Okay.
You're
I don't know
transferred
why
into
it
his
would
body.
be.
You finally grow a brain. What's your game plan here? Do you even bother going back into the industry?
How can you?
Right now, I don't know, dude. Maybe a year from now.
Dude, this thing is so big. You pull his name up, these are the things that are going to pop up, all the things that he copied, all the things he plagiarized. And the fact that you don't even own up to this mistake, it's going to keep pushing his back further into that wall, man. He's never going to come out of that. I boldly predict it's going to be a while.
I said this last week, but I don't know if he can ever post a video
at all.
Without anybody just saying, like,
Just say,
hey,
hey,
where'd you plagiarize this from?
And there's so much evidence backing the internet up on this that anything that he says will get immediately discredited unless he starts owning up to these, acknowledging these mistakes.
I know I'm going to forget, but in like a year or 2 years, I want to see where this guy is. I want to look him up. What is he doing?
He's probably going to go into like an everyday job now. And that really sucks because that's, like I said, it's a dream job for literally thousands of people.
Don't ever bite the hand
I'll
that
say
feeds
this
you.
though: the thing about the internet now is with social media, things blow up really fast. However, the internet also has a very short memory.
We do. We'll be honest about that. Some things just.
If he pops up in a year and a half, people might not even really know or care.
I think this goes back to just what I was saying right now, and that is just, there's thousands of other people that haven't plagiarized their reviews word for word.
It's like I said last week. It goes back to basic fundamentals of English. Now it just becomes, at this point, your ethics and your morals are now in question. And more than anything, I really do think he has a problem when it comes to those things at this point. Now with all this stuff just keeps adding up.
Philip, if you're listening, you have a problem.
And you suck still. You still suck.
I mean, honestly, do you, like, even if he does make another video, do you personally trust him?
No.
To provide you an opinion?
Well, I mean, like I said, in a year and a half, I don't know. I might not even know.
Like, do you even at this point? I don't care what Filip Miucin thinks about anything.
Even if he apologizes, it's going to be a while. If I'm being, like, all jokes aside, but him being bad, it's
what would he have to personally do for you to accept his apology?
Apologize. Like, be responsible. Look at everything that people have put in front of him.
Honestly, I don't think he personally right now in
he doesn't
current
care.
state can provide anything.
No, yeah. He's probably just, I mean, if I were him, yeah, I'd be all over the place. Not that I don't want to be him, because why the hell would I want to at this point? The fact that you're someone that doesn't want to really, like, I keep saying I'm a broken record, but just admit it. How hard is that? Swallow it.
Other people admitted it for him. It's okay.
Okay, we'll do that for that, but whatever. He can do some soul searching for all I care.
In conclusion, this guy is a complete idiot.
That's
basically it.
Do we find ourselves, do you think at this point next week, do we think there's just going to be more things, or do you think this will be it?
I'll check the Kotaku thread. Right now, it's up to 16 entries. I think.
Check Kotaku. Oh yeah, follow what's his name, Jason, on Twitter, because he really lit Philip up.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And we're going to keep a close eye on that.
Don't get on the bad side of the internet. That's one thing that you should know.
Yeah, don't challenge the internet. Don't ever do it. You're asking.
Don't do it.
That's it.
That never works out.
And
never.
And look where it's become. It became a simple, should have been apology. Now it's like, hey, I'm going to challenge these people because I don't think I plagiarized, even though he did. So.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to another topic. Kind of that was a point of emphasis during this week.
Okay.
And that is the departure of EA's chief design officer, Patrick Soderlund, after 20 years of service at Electronic Arts. He announced that he will be leaving October 30th after the launch of Battlefield 5.
How fitting.
Now, Patrick's been there for 20 years. One interesting fact that came up is last year he made $48.3 million.
Oh my god. I was about to say.
That would still be like a third. That would be a third of Bezos.
It would be a lot.
Like that number sounds ridiculously high.
What, like third?
But anyway, they paid him $20 million last year as basically a good faith that he would stick around and lead EA into the future. He's been responsible for a bunch of franchises, Battlefield to Madden. He's also been responsible for shutting down some game studios, including Visceral Games. They were making the single player.
Sorry.
Okay, his phone just went off.
Yeah,
he's having.
Because I'm looking at the information here.
So unprofessional, Denner.
And just random.
We're replacing you.
Stop! You're not.
Don't
replace me with Philip. At least I have original work.
We're replacing you, but we're still using your house.
Damn it!
Sorry.
This is our studio.
All right.
Sorry, Denner. So
he's basically
back to EA.
So he's basically one of the guys.
Yeah, I mean they've been responsible for pumping out a lot of good games. Battlefield 1, They've also been responsible for shutting down some projects that people were really looking forward to.
Such as
Star Wars 1313. There was there was the single player Star Wars game that was announced 2 or 3 years ago.
Never heard anything since.
Please, you're gonna make me sad.
Well, they canceled that, and it was being written by the same lady. I forgot her name, but she's written Uncharted and a bunch of really good.
We were supposed to get games like that for that franchise.
Yeah. Instead, we got the steaming pile of crap that was.
Please do not remind me of that.
Can you imagine if we were doing this podcast during that time? Oh my goodness, we would be so up in the arms.
Now his departure does come on the heels of 2 very big flops, and that was Battlefront 2. I would say very big flops, but Battlefront 2, which was a huge controversy that we'll discuss in a little bit. And then recently, the numbers for Battlefield 5 came out, and the pre-orders really are not that strong, given that it's coming out in the same release window as
I have a question. How do we know how good Battlefront 2 was? I mean, how good it did, I guess.
I think it's sold,
I'm actually not sure.
But then
that would be nice if you had asked me to pull up those numbers.
Yeah, Dominic. What are we, wizards?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Once again, Denrick, this was another thing you were supposed to do for your interview. First the phone, now the numbers.
Okay, total sales of Battlefront 2.
Bear with us here, folks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's coming off the heels of obviously Battlefront 2 not doing very well. Battlefield 5 pre-orders not doing very good.
I mean, I didn't pre-order it, so I contributed right away.
Yeah, it's coming out the same. It's coming out the same release window as Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Holy crap!
Also, in terms of just FPS Twitch shooters, there's been kind of some established games right now.
Yeah, there's a shift.
Like Siege is still going strong in that market.
Oh yeah, don't forget. I'm pretty sure this was leaked already. Battlefield 5 has a battle royale mode.
Yeah, I think they're.
Do you really think you're gonna sell that off at this point? I think
both franchise. I think both Call of Duty and Battlefield.
I mean, I don't know why not at this point.
I mean, why not? But
I mean, I'm just surprised that
kind of shows
Battlefield 5 is doing as poor as it is, or at least as it's projected to do. Just because
I think because of
it's a solid. I mean, there are problems with the game, but it's a solid franchise.
I think you can also now associate because with the whole Battlefront fiasco.
Yeah, I think
that's part of it.
There's just some bad will right now.
That's the whole PR thing, and that's the oh my god! Don't even get me started on that. I remember the way they responded to that. A
sense of pride and accomplishment.
Wow, that term is just going to go down in infamy. That's just I don't know why you would do that. Just like what part of that sounded good?
I mean, that's probably going to be like a section in a PR class. Do not do this, and it's just gonna be that comment.
But I am excited for, no one. Here's the thing: no one should be happy about people leaving what they're doing, or
yeah. So he did say that he was gonna stay in games,
in a different capacity, but not with EA.
Not with EA. He's moving on to a different company, and then that kind of. Okay, so just quick in here. EA sold 9 million copies of Battlefront 2 during a 3-month period from October to December 2017. The third quarter of EA's 2018 fiscal year, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, that was 1 million fewer than the 10 million target that they had set.
Okay, so they were going below their goal.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, considering.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that also a spawn of in Battlefront 1 when they had lack of content?
I mean, Battlefront 1 was just... it was not even a skeleton. I would say it was half a skeleton.
It was a demo. It was a full game demo.
It was a demo. I'm backing out.
I mean, Dominic and I played...
It starts rolling over.
Now, we got that game for the PS4. This was before we were kind of entrenched in PC. And we got that game for the PS4. Playing it for about the first 2 hours, it was like, this is really fun. The mechanics are kind of fun. And then you start peeling the onion. You start seeing some of the flaws with that game. Example, the stupid star cards, is that what they're called?
I don't know.
Star cards sounds stupid enough that it's probably right.
where you freaking you had a limited amount of grenades, and if you didn't have these cards, you couldn't use grenades in the game.
Yeah, and you could I believe you could buy them, right?
Yeah, you could buy them with real money.
So it was basically a pay to win thing.
It was a pay to win. I think it became even worse in Battlefront 2 because they went the loot box route.
Oh God!
Whoa.
I forgot. Does anyone here remember the math of how long it would take to unlock everything.
To like, I remember how long it would take to unlock Darth Vader.
I think it was about 40 hours to unlock.
40 plus hours to unlock
40 to
a
60
hero.
hours to unlock one character.
Yeah, I remember it was something ridiculous. It was like
It was that.
someone said it would take one guy playing the game 12 hours a day for months or even over a year.
It just brings
or
me back
something.
to my days of playing
To
shooters
unlock
back in the
everything?
day.
Yeah, to unlock everything.
So,
No, that's
dumb.
They got hit hard with microtransactions and the loot box controversy, so much as people are starting to look into the legality of loot boxes and whether it's gambling.
Well, let's compare them real quick. Loot boxes, you're paying like some sort of currency, whether it be a digital or real money, whatever, for a chance to get something, whether it be an upgrade or a pack, weapons pack.
Yeah, so do you...
Real life gambling, you pay money in a machine and a chance to get something in return.
So
that is not guaranteed.
Do you agree it's gambling then?
In a way, yes.
So here's the thing about gambling. It's all about the euphoria and all about the satisfaction that the person gets. It's about the thrill. Do you get the same thrill when you're opening a loot box in Overwatch that's near and dear to your heart?
I don't want to talk about how much money I've spent on Overwatch loot boxes.
That just proves it, guys.
Just the simple RNG factor of it. I mean, even going back to Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, where you could
don't do it. Don't go there.
No.
That's a dark place.
Where you could only unlock certain characters via loot boxes, and you paying real money improves those chances. So it's kind of a dangerous place that.
Okay. Loot boxes are fine, in my opinion. They are fine if they're cosmetic.
That is why people have given Blizzard so much praise for how they've handled loot boxes and Overwatch.
That point is very acceptable.
Games like Star Wars Battlefront or
Unacceptable.
Mass Effect, where it actually affects gameplay,
Unwarranted. Unfair.
You're a bad person. You're a bad person.
You are, and if you're trying to push games as a service where you want somebody to keep coming back and giving you their money, then you release the game for free.
And then you start adding on.
And then you start adding it, which is the freemium games. But expecting me to pay $60, $70, sometimes up to $100 plus if I'm ordering any special edition, it doesn't make fiscal sense to me. And personally, I don't appreciate being essentially lied to.
Yeah. Don't you get a sense of pride and accomplishment?
It's kind of like... you're getting a game that you paid full money for, but you're only getting like half or a quarter of it. Yeah, stuff like that really rubs me off the wrong way. I understand that's the trend right now in video games, and they're still doing it for other games. But at least I noticed these other video game companies, they're doing it reasonably. They're actually giving you something that's worthwhile. The whole thing with Star Wars Battlefront or whatever EA did, that was the limit.
Okay, I mean, let me ask you guys this: do you think it's going to trend towards like having loot boxes like Battlefront 2 where it actually matters? Or do you think it's going to stay cosmetic? Or do you think it's just going to get...
I think giving the PR backlash of this last one...
It definitely changed it.
I think they're going to try and lay off for a little bit. They might go back and do something much worse. Now, I personally have said this before, and that is that games currently at their price mark are underpriced. Like I firmly believe that.
Okay.
Like if you think about the budget of a AAA game, which can sometimes go into 100, 150, 200 million.
Millions of dollars, baby.
Like it's just not proportional to the cost of a game, say, 20, 30 years, 20 years ago. Back in the early 2000s where you're paying for a $50 PS1 game. The cost of a $50 PS1 game to make was probably an infinitesimal fraction of what a AAA game costs now, in terms of manpower, in terms of equipment, in terms of everything else, in terms of talent.
I mean, true, but I mean, I don't know if raising the prices of games are it's necessarily a good idea.
It also really depends on the franchise. Let me kind of insert myself here real quick. So we mentioned he's what's his name?
Patrick Soderlund.
Patrick, he's leaving EA, and you mentioned he was one of the front runners, the guys managing games like Madden. Now, for Madden, that's interesting in itself. I think we can talk about it today because they haven't done much to that game. I'm sorry, my personal opinion. For games like that, I think stuff like loot boxes need to kind of like not be there. For other
even with Madden, the randomness aspect of it is back in Madden Ultimate Team.
Are there loot boxes in Madden?
It's not really.
They're not loot
for your own. So the way Madden Ultimate Team is set up, you get a bunch of cards that you open with players in them
from like anywhere.
And then you play, and then you get in-game currency to buy better players.
That's the only reason why people who hardcore play these sports games like Madden.
I had no idea that was a thing.
That is the only
reason.
We've
talked about this with Ryan. That's our buddy Ryan. He's a
big Madden.
He's a professional stoner / Madden player.
I'm sorry for outing you, Ryan. Everybody knows.
That's what he does, though.
Yeah, so he's talked about just how easy it is to like link your PayPal account and just pay $5 to open up a pack that'll give you like a legend in game or somebody else.
By the way, that is so dangerous. Linking it's genius though by developers.
Yeah.
When you can link your credit card or your PayPal account to a game
instantly,
and you just have to press a button
and to confirm it.
The smartest thing that's like anyone ever thought of.
Yeah, the convenience is there, but going back to the whole Madden thing, I only mention it because like a game like that, if it wasn't for the Ultimate Team, we can talk about this subject the other day. This is more my personal thought. That game hasn't really done anything for me in the last like 5 or 6 years. Sanan, me and you can talk about the whole football games franchises all day and they're different. You see how Madden is like the way it is now. But going back to the whole loot boxes thing and everything, or buying the stuff online. Some video games, it's okay. Some of it, sometimes it's not worth it.
Okay, no, I just had a brilliant idea. Loot boxes in real life. We should do it.
Get a chance. What does that even mean?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Like when you wake up every morning, when you get your clothes, you pay $5.
Going to McDonald's and ordering whatever you want.
You have it at home.
You pay like $4 for something
in your kitchen,
and you don't know what it could be. It might might be fries. It could be a whole meal.
I mean, we saw stuff at Comic-Con like that where vendors reselling.
Okay, I'm joking, but
hey, those boxes suck, by the way.
Do you ever think that could possibly be a thing?
You mean similarly?
I mean, maybe.
That'd be crazy.
I wake up every morning, go to my closet before I actually open it. There's like a screen like, hey, I'm gonna get a chance to wear some shorts or some pants today.
Let's make everything in life orange. Anywhere from like your status to like your career.
You go on like a date.
Everything's loot boxes.
You go on like a date. You don't get pants.
You
get like some booty shorts for a guy. And you're stuck with that until the next time you come back home.
There you go. Now, going back to Patrick Sorlin's departure, do you guys think? No, EA still holds the rights to Star Wars. They still have Dragon Age. They more or less have Mass Effect. I
was about to say
that they're still. They said that they'll revisit it.
I mean,
sometime.
I don't acknowledge that.
I hope they make a game after Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, we haven't had a Mass Effect game ever since Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
They did release a game, something called Andre's.
So what else has EA done?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I mean, Inquisition was a fun game. They're coming out with Anthem. They still have all the sports franchises. Do you see this as a shift in philosophy for EA? Because they obviously wanted this guy stay, and he championed a lot of these causes or a lot of these trends.
Maybe I want to say part of it. That's why he's leaving. But more seriously, I think he just want to maybe explore other opportunities where he can bring his talents or his know-it-all.
I mean, yeah, it could be that. I mean, it could be
anything.
A completely just outside reason, or it could be something related. Like
yeah,
maybe
some businesses
he doesn't want to be related to
some businesses.
Weren't they voted the worst company in America last year?
I mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm actually surprised that wasn't like a.
I mean, it was
cable.
I know it's Comcast. Comcast constantly gets it, but didn't EA win that award?
I don't know. EA, I'm sorry if you're listening, and that's false. I'm sorry.
You still deserve it, probably.
Times were simpler back then for EA. They really were. Some of my favorite we talked about this weeks ago, I think. Some of my favorite video game franchises of all time came from EA. And look how we shifted now.
Yeah, I think just at a certain point, you get too big.
You get big too for your head, and it just doesn't bode well.
Now, for a company that's this big, I think you can just do whatever you want and kind of get away with it as a trial run, which is I think that's what EA's been trying to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope they get somebody that that takes them back to
The way they were.
their roots, which were honestly some pretty fun games, like Denrick mentioned.
That's all that's all it takes. Don't be dumb.
Yeah. Now, speaking of companies that are getting big and can do whatever they want,
Man, I mean, whatever they want.
recently Netflix has been experimenting with some ads between episodes. So now you'll finish an episode, you'll get an ad for another Netflix show. And Netflix come out and said that this is kind of an experimental trial for people that have opted into.
Yeah, you can. There's a way you can opt out, and I don't know if everyone's opted in by default. I'm not sure how it works.
You do have to check that. It'd be smart to check that if that's
Now,
the case.
people really don't like this. People don't like being advertised to when they're paying for a service.
Yeah. When you mentioned this, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it is really turning into TV.
It is. You now have a bunch of streaming services that will.
I mean, I feel like
On top of what you're probably already paying for just to have the internet to run it.
I feel like we all kind of saw this coming.
It's
We
just,
did. Big cable is really.
well, yeah, cable's kind of, it's slowly, maybe
Yeah,
slowly.
I mean, here's the
maybe
thing:
going its way
cable
out.
companies suck, but I don't know why we thought, oh, Netflix, they're better than the cable companies. They don't want money as much as them.
I wish Blockbuster
I mean, come
bought
on.
them when they had the chance. So.
Is that one Blockbuster still open?
Well, I think Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for like $2 million back in like 2003 or 4, whenever it was.
Yeah, I remember reading that, and you know what happened to Blockbuster? Goodbye.
Look, we're
Hey
down.
man, it's still going strong in like Oregon.
Yeah, that one location. Don't let it die. That's the remnants of our childhood.
Yeah, and this comes on the heels of they recently implemented autoplay ads while you're browsing that you can't mute.
I've yet to come across that yet, so I'll keep a lookout for that, but that's going to be annoying.
Well, when's the last time you launched Netflix?
I actually last night.
Really?
Yeah.
That comes off on my TV.
Maybe they're slowly
It might.
working it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they implement their changes.
Yeah, so just give people context. While you're looking, it'll start playing an ad for a Netflix movie or Netflix show in the background, with sound on, and you really don't have the option to turn it off. It's kind of annoying to me because while I'm browsing, I really don't want like a random trailer playing in the background.
Well, let me kind of mention this. Feel free to stop me, but if you're
Stop.
if you're viewing it like on your browser, like kind of let's just be honest, like would you ad block that?
I don't think ad block.
Or did it?
I
did
mean,
it?
if I
Yeah,
could
did it?
ad block it,
If I could, I
would.
would.
That mean, obviously, since it's a new system, I'm assuming it'd be very hard to do that. So, which I'm sure people are going to be trying.
And, I mean, here's the thing. I know a counter argument to this could be made that, it's not so bad. I think it's just one commercial. It's Netflix related between the episodes.
Yeah, that I
But
understand.
What I don't like about this is that it's opening the door to advertisement. on
No,
Netflix.
yeah, don't like flood us with like. Don't just do that.
I mean, there's a reason why I've held out on Hulu. There's a reason why I've held out on other streaming services, and that is because of ads. Like I just don't want to be advertised to if I'm giving you $14, $15, $20 a month.
I understand doing it like if you're on YouTube, which is a free website to access already. That I understand. But this one where you're already paying money on top of that, we kind of. And here's the thing. The easiest way to not give into this is obviously don't pay for it. That'd be the easiest thing to do. But a lot of people on Netflix is the number
Taking
one
to the
streaming
high
service.
seas, are we?
Honestly, that's been.
I'm just saying, what if?
That is probably the next frontier, which is if you once again force people into a corner where you force them to watch stuff that they don't want to, as minuscule as a 30 to a minute
Or
ad,
15, 17,
minute long ad
whatever.
may be. I mean, you're really just kind of going back.
Yeah, I don't get it. Netflix was a perfect example of a service that people will pay for because it's simple, it's easy to access, and people can watch what they want without being interrupted. I don't know why they're straying away from that.
If you're watching like a movie, it won't pop in between, right?
No, it's basically they said that in between.
Switching.
Yeah, so
Choosing.
say you've seen like the third episode of Breaking Bad, in between the third and
At
fourth
least it's
episode.
not. At least it's not like on YouTube where you watch videos. There's like always ad breaks.
For now, at least for now.
Yeah, for now. I mean, does it open the
Right.
door for?
Yeah, we're watching you, Netflix. Literally and figuratively.
Here's the thing, though. This is probably not very many people are going to care about this, but I personally don't like watching trailers of new seasons that are coming
Or
up.
movies, because I think, I don't know, were you saying because like you don't know, it's better to go in cold, or
Yeah,
you don't want to get the wrong perception of what you're about to watch.
So like if I'm watching, let's say I'm watching like the third season of Orange is the New Black, and then I'm watching like an episode of The Office. And I'm like in between the episode of The Office, like say I'm in the third season of Orange is the New Black, and in between episodes of The Office, they show a trailer for
That
the fourth season of Orange is the New Black, because that's what just released.
you're,
Like
you're gonna probably stop.
you're
pausing
kind of
that.
spoiling
Yeah,
stuff over.
That's annoying. I know. I think there's a way to, if you're opting into this, to give feedback to Netflix, right?
It was a heads up. You know how
There
like
should be. Well, actually, they just did something weird, and I don't know what the point of this was.
Was
And
it a user review thing?
they've deleted every single previous user review on Netflix.
this is also why you don't see like star ratings anymore.
Like, just give me back the star system. Erase this
Yeah, now I can't tell what movie is bad.
match bullshit. Like, for some reason I was like a
Whoa.
90.
It was, yeah, actually, yeah. I agree with him.
Look what you did, Netflix. You made him mad.
Okay, I was like 98% matched with like the Emoji Movie. Like, what? Someone else said this too on Reddit.
That
Were they-
algorithm is crap.
I was 78% matched with a random Vietnam War documentary.
Yeah, dude.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but where did you get those percentages from? I didn't even put it. I only put my basic info down, just to. Hey, I'm putting. Yeah, it's. I don't know why you have that.
It's just like weird shows that I would never watch.
Or never even think twice of before.
Conspiracy theory here. Do you think those percentages are maybe a little twisted to make you watch certain things?
I don't
maybe
think so.
there's some little. I've heard this theory. I don't know if I buy into
I
it.
don't
Do
know.
do I see companies paying Netflix to
Oh,
boost
hell
their
yeah.
ratings, like
Oh, if you want to put it that way.
like companies like Yelp or
I was about to say, like for these movies, the shows on their own, is there like some kind of agreement that, hey, we're gonna put this in between just to let you know your show's up here, or whoever is managing the licensing of properties, or do they know that willingly? Okay, yeah, you're gonna do that, go for it. You wouldn't do this unless there's always something
I'm
that's gave up. Okay,
I
you're
concur.
I'm confused.
You're watching like Orange is the New Black. Okay, let's discredit shows that Netflix has claimed that they're original projects, like something like a Disney movie. Do they approve of that, having that happening in that system?
Do companies approve
Okay,
of
no,
free
I
advertising?
think I think
Well, then, yeah,
what
yeah.
he's saying is to shows that like
Or
The
movies or
Office, would they approve having ads played like while you're watching The Office? Is that what you mean?
Something like to that degree. Let's say you're watching The Office,
I'm not sure. I'm
No,
not
no, no,
sure
no, you're
if
not-
they even.
but
have
the
to do
shows
that.
themselves. Okay. Well, run down the basic acquisition of how Netflix has a show on their service.
Okay, no,
when
I
you-
think I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
when
now.
do you give up like certain rights that, hey, since we have your show on our streaming service, we're gonna implement this in between or in this section.
Oh, so you're saying if
Do they know that knowingly?
like does NBC have any say
Of having,
in what
they're experimenting?
does
Hey,
NBC have any say? NBC have any say in what Netflix advertises during The Office?
like during The Office, or basic for anyone that has it on that service? Are they okay with like having them doing this experiment, whether it be in between this show or that show?
I mean, honestly, I don't think they care. There might be,
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't-
there might be some clauses where like Disney might come in where like, hey, you can't show like
Yeah,
a
'cause-
trailer for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because for
Frozen,
that,
obviously.
yeah, you have to filter it.
There probably is something like that,
You
but I
have
don't
to.
think it's anything.
That's why it's an
I don't
experiment.
think I don't think it's widespread though. There might be certain companies that have limitations.
Well, I like to compare it to like, I don't know, this is kind of dumb, but like people just kind of accept the fact there's like ads on basketball jerseys. in the
I mean, I was
NBA.
fine.
That's
with it.
okay. If you're as long as you stay within that realm, I'm okay with it.
I mean, there was
I just don't want them to be weird with it.
I think 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago where SNL shifted from having multiple commercial breaks. They lessened it, I think, by like one break, but they increased product placement during their show. For example, instead of showing a commercial for Coca-Cola, they would just have somebody drinking a Coke on screen.
That's
Okay,
fine. At
yeah.
least there's some integrity to it.
I mean, I don't mind that type of product placement as long as it's not
Yeah,
totally just in your face.
Like if I'm watching an anime on Netflix, I better see what's that one show? The one chick that's like that plays video games and drinks. No. That's not even
Academia?
on there. No. Umaru-chan.
Umaru-chan.
So here's the thing: she drinks like sodas, and it's implied she drinks like Coke. Implement an ad like during the show where she drinks a Coke. I'm fine with. That I'm okay with.
I've going back to what I just said about Hulu, where I've kind of staved off because of their ads. But now, if they were kind of to come back and have, I think it's $12.
Right? For Hulu?
I don't know. I'm not a.
And
for the same reason, I kind of avoid Hulu.
I used it way back then, but I stopped.
Now, do you think like Netflix will implement kind of a model like that, where you could pay $7.99 a month and get all of Netflix, but you have to sit through ads as a regular television show, or you could pay, let's say, $15 a month and avoid ads altogether?
I'm not sure. Honestly,
I would fight someone if they did that.
Yeah,
I would fight them.
I wouldn't really agree.
I mean, I think
it.
my Netflix right now is $14 a month because I have the 4K streaming,
and you can do multiple device streams.
I mean, I think we do too, just because of the. I mainly for the multiple devices.
Yeah, mainly that the 4K thing, whatever. But the point is that if you're gonna have that appearing like everywhere, just be reasonable about it. I guess. Don't shove it into our face if that's what they're trying to do. That's what I'm mainly worried about.
I don't like having things shoved in my face. I hate it. Please do not shove your ads in my face. Please.
Yeah, do not shove that.
That's it.
We're not supposed to be.
Don't do it, Netflix.
Here's the good thing. It's like you said, it's an experiment. So we're going to have to wait and see. I don't know. It might be one of those things where they'll gradually put it in. It's going to be one of those things where unfortunately we just get used to it and
you just take it.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't...
Again, this is going back to just cable in digital form. This is what you're getting. Everyone, I guarantee you, 5 years from now, everyone's going to have that stupid ESPN Plus service where they're already like starting to put some games on there now that you can't watch unless you have their streaming service.
My God.
You're going to have Disney's service, which is going to have like I think Marvel's contract with Netflix ends after next year. It ends with Ant-Man and the Wasp. But it's going to be the last Marvel movie to go on Netflix.
Better catch up with those Marvel movies on Netflix.
Says the guy who hasn't seen the last three.
Exactly. That's why it's more like a reminder for myself.
Oh, ho, hey, hey, pirate's life for me.
Was the rum.
Everyone's going to have stupid ESPN. Everyone's going to have Disney. Everyone's going to have Netflix. And then, I mean, all of these other companies, like CBS is already out with their own streaming service for CBS shows. I'm sure NBC Universal is going to have something. I'm sure, like, Fox is eventually going to have to come out with something.
Yeah, I can't do it.
It's and at $10 a piece, you're back to like $50, $60 that you're paying a month. At that point, you might as well just keep cable.
Is cable going to be our heroes? Is that what we're going to have to turn back to?
Hey, after the whole thing with the
I mean, if cable would go back and let me like select certain channels that I want, like I would consider bringing cable back.
Honestly, I don't watch much cable TV anymore, so that kind of just shows.
Yeah, but like I don't want to pay, $60 and then have like QVC or some like random channel.
Yeah, don't pay me. I don't want to pay for stuff that I don't need.
I mean, honestly, outside of like ESPN, our local sports network, AMC, and
some news shows, I guess,
and one of the news networks. I really don't watch anything on cable, and for me to pay
that much money,
like $60 to $80, that's ridiculous. I think we're set. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to one of Denrick's favorite segments.
What is my favorite segment, Sanan?
One of Dominic's least favorite segments.
What is his favorite least segment?
My favorite least segment. My
Probably
least
toes.
favorite segment.
All right, guys. Time for Rank 'em. This week, we're ranking our top 3
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Okay, Denrick, top 3 Pokemon. Go.
My 3 favorite Pokemon are number 3. It's gonna be Vulpix / Eevee. Number 2, it's gonna be Mudkip or Mudkips. And number 1, it's Pikachu. Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Okay, my top 3. Ditto, Snorlax, also Pikachu.
Ditto.
Pikachu, look what?
You have to include Pikachu.
And I got you, Pikachu.
Okay, number 3 for me.
You don't have to, but you have to.
Number 3 for me. Wobbuffet.
Wobbuffet.
I love the freaking randomness of Wobbuffet.
In the show, or like just when he
I like when he pops up randomly and
with Team Rocket,
just messes up Team Rocket. It's one of my favorite running games.
That is true.
Number 2, Meowth. The fact that he just has like such a messed up backstory,
and that he talks.
And I mean, you know why he learned to talk, right? Like everyone knows.
I'm kind of what's it called? My head is shavy.
He was basically like tortured, or like he was imprisoned. And
I kind of remember that.
He like basically forced himself to learn how to talk in order to be able to escape.
I vaguely remember something like that. I do.
Number 1, Charizard. Like no other reason other than he's like a freaking dragon that breathes fire.
I would have put Charmander too. His backstory alone?
Charmander's backstory is kind of sad.
Everyone remembers that. That was in the early stages.
That was really intense for
that was
show.
sad. As a kid, we didn't think too much of it, but
they die if their fire goes out.
Jesus, that's sad.
Right.
Which is weird.
That's why it was such a great episode.
You see it raining like on his tail.
And you remember on Ash in the game, they come up and put a blanket. The fire just keeps getting smaller.
No, I mean, Pokemon lore is actually pretty dark if you really take the time and read the Pokedex. It can be.
Isn't there a theory where
there's a lot of animal abuse in Pokemon?
Like, there's a reason why you don't see adult men in Pokemon.
Just the kids.
I mean, you do see some. No, I mean, there's a good amount.
Professor
of
Oak.
Professor, like in their prime adult men, like 30.
Yeah, I mean, you do see. I mean, you see them every now and then. I think I know what you're talking about.
It's a theory that there's a huge war going on.
When you say that, I'm sorry, I keep thinking of the dudes from Yu-Gi-Oh! It was also, in Yu-Gi-Oh! It was a bunch of mid-tier men fighting little kids with a card game. I mean, I don't mean to bring that up. I know we're talking about Pokemon, but parallels there. Time
for our segment where we provide you with your weekly dosage of salt.
As if there wasn't enough salt.
Okay. Dominic, you want to start us off with what annoyed you this week?
Okay, I'm starting off. All right. So, one criticism I hear a lot, and I hate, is when someone says they don't like something because it's predictable. What does that even mean? Like, what? Just that alone is it's such a dumb criticism. Like,
can you provide an example?
Yeah, kind of just...
I mean, like, people will say, oh, you know what, I don't like the newest season of Game of Thrones because a lot of the twists are really predictable. Like, if predictability is your only measurement, that's really stupid. No, I get if you add some stuff on there, you're saying the dialogue is stale, and there's nothing dynamic about the story. That makes sense. If you just say, I like X over X because X is more predictable or less predictable, that's so dumb. Like, imagine, okay, would Lord of the Rings be better at the end if Gandalf and Frodo just took their clothes off and started making out?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the most unexpected.
That would be the completely unexpected.
It's a bad example. I would absolutely want to see Gandalf and...
Oh my god.
No, here's the thing. I have a problem. I don't have a problem with predictability in the sense, like, in the end game. Like, for example, the Avengers, like, I know they're going to go back and defeat Thanos. But...
Oh, okay, that's a spoiler. Thanks for the spoiler.
I mean, we just talked... Denner just made the Yu-Gi-Oh! Point where, like, I knew freaking Yu-Gi was going to win every week, but it was the how, and it's kind of more...
and going back to Dominic's take on that, it's also going back to... I don't mind a show being predictable as long as the journey itself is amazing.
I mean, that is true. Like I said, like it wasn't. It was never, is Yugi going to beat this guy? It was really like, what kind of card is he going to pull out from his nether region, and that he would absolutely have no reason to have other than for this one duel. Like that. Like, oh, you have 5 like fire type Pokemon on the field with 1 trap card. Like, oh, I'm gonna bust out my 1 trap card that says
5 fire type Pokemon.
5 fire like type
These
monsters on the
monsters.
field of the trap card. I have this magic card that specifically destroys 5 fire type monsters and 1 trap card. Attack you directly. I win. And Joey still gets sent to the Shadow Realm for some reason.
I just think I mean, as long as you have like you make it interesting enough, like predictability shouldn't matter. Like that shouldn't be the main barometer of how you measure your show or your movie or whatever.
Some of the best.
It's so dumb. Think about going back to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is the most predictable movie ever. Everything about that movie is super predictable. I guess it's a bad movie then. I'm sorry if you like Lord of the Rings, you actually have a bad opinion because it's predictable. I hate when I read that. There's people, like I said, if you elaborate on that, I get it. But people just like, this sucks. I predicted the ending.
Okay, so what exactly triggered this?
What was the situation?
Your particular review, particular show that you saw?
Honestly, I think I really shouldn't be reading anything Game of Thrones related. It actually might have been Game of Thrones related. I think it was. They're talking about the latest season.
Here's the thing: you kind of foretell, like, if you don't notice that it's really a love story from the beginning of the show, like it's a typical like fantasy love story that's leading to this culmination of all these almost separate universes that George Martin created. They're in the end game now, which now the action and just the payoff is kind of going to make up.
People predicted it, so it sucks.
Well, people didn't predict
There's
anything. Well, this is a perfect example because people didn't predict anything leading up to the show. Like, just Denrick, you've started watching the show, but I know you haven't caught up. But there's for Game of Thrones, but there's these moments where
you kind of know where it's heading, and you kind of just like, you just sit there like, oh, okay, this is heading this way, so either this will happen or this will happen.
Where I think he's bucked enough predictions, people, like the Red Wedding. Well, you had the Mountain and the Viper. You had a whole bunch of other stuff that kind of doesn't turn out the way that you think it's going to turn out. But now you're in the end game, and you're either, and I still don't know. I honestly don't know if they're going to have a bad ending or they're going to give us the ending kind of everyone expects.
I guarantee you, no matter what happens, there's going to be some douchebag posting on Reddit that, I predicted this. And, George R. Martin was still writing.
Well, I think he writes like 20 pages. There's no way. I'm willing to pet anybody who wants to take me on this. I'm willing to pet like $10 with everybody who I don't think he's going to finish another book. Like, he is absolutely coasting through life right now. I think he does the bare minimum every year, which is like 20 pages to his publisher.
Excuse me, how dare you insult George R. R. Martin? How dare you?
I mean, I wish he would like finish the books. I'm not saying that he would. I just don't think he will.
Isn't this why like Game of Thrones is not coming out to like 2020?
Or
whatever.
Maybe. I mean, that's part of it. I think it's
great time to catch up.
It is. I'm not too bummed that it was delayed until 2019 because it gives me the time to appreciate the show more.
Maybe rewatch some stuff. For me,
I'm absolutely gonna start.
I'm gonna just casually catch up until then, and maybe if I think it's predictable, but I want to go back before we move on. Like, for the thing with your predictability, it's always gonna be bad if it ends up being bad, right? But I've watched.
It should be bad if it's bad. Yes.
But I've watched some shows that were, yes, in some moments, okay, that's really predictable. But then when they explain why it happened and they start introducing some other things, that I can appreciate. But I don't want it to be like a cop out, like, it was me all along, kind of thing. That you gotta don't do that too much, and then that's fine. But I can see where you're coming from.
Okay, end of Breaking Bad.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, he hasn't seen Breaking Bad. Oh my god.
I mean, I need to catch up too.
Okay, I'll say this because it's not gonna make any sense anyway. If Jesse became a clown and started just doing backflips for like the last 30 minutes of the show.
Can that be an episode of Breaking Bad?
Jesse in a clown suit doing backflips for 30 minutes straight. Surely no one in the world would have predicted that, right?
Now here's the thing. I'll go back and say that I do have a problem with shows that telegraph they're basically there, to use a wrestling term, they're heel turns or they're their character changes
crap.
to where, like, they'll show somebody scheming, and then they'll show them being happy, and then they'll keep putting out these hints that they think are subtle, but you're really just getting punched in the face.
Well, I don't know. Are you talking about like foreshadowing, or I don't?
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
you could
Funny
say
enough,
foreshadowing.
Funny enough,
I mean,
today is
foreshadowing is like
SummerSlam.
a thing that. I mean,
it is a plot device, but I don't want to be punched in the face with it.
true. I mean, like I said, if it's
Happy SummerSlam.
Like if
If
you
you have-
show a Game of Thrones character next to like a skull,
oh,
and then next
that
you show
kinda-
them walking
that
through
kind
a
of
graveyard.
foreshadowing.
I mean, like that.
and then next they have us talk about like death.
And like
and
I said, that's just not predictability. There's a lot of
That's
like
just
bad things going
bad
on with
woman
that.
stuff.
Like I said, like if you want to complain about something being predictable, that's fine as long as you can say something else. But
I mean, in the end, it comes down to your execution and what the journey was leading up to your, I guess, predictable conclusion. Denrick.
Okay. So that's what predictability. That's Dominic's forte. Last week I mentioned.
My forte.
I knew he said that. Just in case, for those who haven't watched last week, I talked about the whole plagiarism thing last week. We talked about that earlier today. I'm not gonna revisit that. I'm just gonna kind of bring it back down to some just something that's every day. Everyone deals with it every day, whether I don't know, you can be working or. In this case, I was actually working. So I was working this week. I do food service. I deliver. I do independent deliveries. There was a particular establishment around here that I think you guys are familiar with.
IHOP.
I don't know,
Denny's.
Dominic. I'm
Denny's,
not sure.
Chick-fil-A.
But just I will disregard what you guys said. I'm not going to acknowledge who it was. But so basically,
Call them out. Call
So-
them out right now.
no, I'm not going to call them
Do
out
it.
because
Do it.
some days it's warranted, some it's not.
Do it.
No,
You'll say their names in 5.
There isn't a
4,
particular. I don't know their
3,
names.
2, 1.
In there's particular time at this establishment that serves American food, American dining establishment, a well-known chain.
Okay. See,
Okay,
you-
no,
you gotta-
here's the thing,
Now
no,
you
no.
gotta say because people are gonna get confused. They're gonna think you're talking about IHOP, unless you really.
I'd
are
rather
talking
let
about-
them figure it out for themselves.
Can you give us some clues?
Okay, I don't know if you guys are
Do these-
joking.
Do these? Yeah. Well, no.
Well, I mean,
really
like
want to know the
it
name.
actually. I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about Denny's, but it could be IHOP.
I'm gonna assume you're talking about Denny's.
So let me explain what happened. So I was doing delivery. It was like late in my shift, and basically I was waiting for like an order. This dude ordered like something simple. I think he ordered like a meatloaf or something. But here's the catch. I went there. I would go to pick up the food for him. They told me, "Oh yeah, here's your order. We don't have the meatloaf though." I'm like, wait, what? Wait a minute.
He ordered the meatloaf. What else is there?
No. So it's like a meal. It comes like a meatloaf and 2 sides. They gave me. There was some other stuff too that he ordered. It wasn't just that. But the main thing was that they didn't have that because like, it took me a minute. I was kind of in shock because I was like, "Wait, you don't have what?"
Sir, we have your ranch and your celery, but
No,
we
no
don't. We
carrots.
don't have your pizza.
Yeah, it was essentially that. So basically, oh, sorry, we ran out of meatloaf. I'm like, okay, so did you guys tell him ahead of time? They're like, no, we didn't, because we don't have an access to his number. I'm like, in my head, you guys could have called me or whatever. There should be an option on the app to let customer service know that, hey, we don't have this item. Can we replace it? When you order as a customer, you can actually leave notes to what replace it with. But I'm assuming this guy was confident enough he was going to get his meatloaf.
Okay, this is really bad. Why don't you just tell them?
This is-
tell us who it was.
It was. Are you okay? You're not joking. Like you guys actually want.
Yes. Yes.
This was Denny's.
Okay, because I
This
didn't
is
know.
fucking
I didn't
Denny's.
know they had meatloaf at Denny's.
It's an American diner. Of course they do.
Who orders meatloaf from Denny's?
No, that was my first question. Who the hell orders
Like,
meatloaf?
that's a real question. Yeah, like,
That's probably
You
why.
thought
they
of
didn't have
everything you
meatloaf.
ordered.
this
Like,
person's probably a
But
psychopath.
wait,
they were
this.
just thinking, "Oh my god, someone ordered the meatloaf."
But wait,
Like,
this
this
guy's.
dude probably just wanted you to come to his house to kill you.
Oh no. At the end of the, it was cool. But here, this gets better. This is only the starting. So basically, he didn't have it. It's like, okay, let me call him and see what he wants to replace it with. I'm like, hey, hello, sir. They don't have your meatloaf, but they have the stuff that came with it. Would you like to replace it with something else? The cool thing is they're like, okay, you can ask him. He can replace anything, whatever you want for free, like a burger or eggs, as long as it's not anything high end. I'm like, yeah. And he told me, okay, just give me like a bacon cheeseburger. I'm like, okay, cool. He wants a bacon cheeseburger. Okay, let me get that started. I waited like 10, 15 minutes, close to 20 because they had to make it in. It wasn't that busy, which already
standard procedure for Denny's.
Is this the notorious Denny's that takes like 30 minutes per order?
Hell yeah.
Okay, it's the same one that we go to.
Oh yeah, but here's what
possibly the worst service. I'm sorry. Like the other. Okay, this is the thing. The other Denny's are perfectly fine.
Yes, any other experience with like Denny's or any other food experience.
It's just this one in particular that's really close to us. Like they will take almost 30 to 40 minutes to get your order, which is like ridiculous for what is essentially like a fast food place.
It's not acceptable.
We can talk about just have our Denny's experience all day, but it will just give us more salt. Funny enough. So let me kind of continue. So I was waiting for like 20 minutes, and the original guy I talked to, he had to do something else. There was another guy. He brought it out. No. He came back. He was attending to another customer that arrived after me. She was picking up something too. There are the 2 bags that I had left on the side to take with me later to wait for the burger. He gives her the bags.
Oh.
He gives her the bags. So I kind of just sat there like, what just happened? And I kind of just stand up and then I'm like, excuse me. Oh yeah. We're getting you the bacon cheeseburger. Yeah, I know. But the other stuff, those bags, what did she come in for? Oh, she came in for like pot roast and vegetable. I'm like,
please tell me that you went off on him.
No, because I was so taken back what happened. So I'm like, those bags were for me because those came out like way before she got here. And then the guy's like this. You're not going to see this in the video, but you guys, I asked him, all he did was this. He was like,
I would have lost my mind. I'm triggered.
But
right
then
now.
his
I'm
eyes,
so
but then
I'm so triggered.
At that time, the moment I asked him that, his eyes were averted to the side of me because I looked back, the woman came back and the one's like, excuse me, I ordered this, there's something in here.
Wait, hold on. Because this is a audio podcast.
Yes.
He's basically just like,
he kind of just
shrugged you off. He
not just shrugged me off. He kind of looked confused. What happened? He wasn't sure because also obviously he wasn't the guy handling my order, so he kind of just passed it off as like, "Oh, here, there's your order."
Here's the thing: motion to blacklist that Denny's.
Here's the thing: you guys are probably asking like, Denrick, why do you deliver? I have to make money somehow. There's actually days. No. During the day, it's like night and day. Literally, this Denny's. During the day, they're actually good when it comes to service for me. For some reason, this at nighttime, when we go there, those particular group of people that work there, guys, this was the same group of people. But so for some reason during nighttime they suck. So there's the woman that came back that took my bags of food that I was supposed to deliver comes back. And then she's like, "Excuse me, I didn't order this. There's like something missing. Ordered meat." And coincidentally, she orders meatloafs too. I'm not making this up.
That's the plot twist.
It's such a talk about predictability.
Okay, I will say the unpredictability of that did make that story better.
I'm not making this up. She ordered meatloaf too, but she wasn't doing it for like a DoorDash or whatever. She was just picking up on her own accord. She was like picking up for someone else or some other company.
I didn't even know they had meatloaf.
It's actually amazing. So
is the meatloaf at Denny's like popular?
Maybe it's secretly really good and we just don't know about it.
So the other guy, the guy I was talking to help me, he came back so he can take care of it. And the woman kind of just goes off and is like, "Hey, there's like other stuff in here I didn't order, but the stuff I want," I was like, "Meatloaf." So I tell her, "Hey, there's no meatloaf. They ran out, miss." I'm like, and she's like, "Okay." So and she puts the bags back. And the guy's like, "Yeah, this is for you, man. This is the bag." He's like, "Yeah, I know." So I'm slowly taking it, but I'm not sure. Like, and here's the burger and everything. And the guy and the woman just comes back and says, "So he took my bags. And so what am I waiting for? Is like, I have this order." She's so freaking confused, and she keeps looking back at me as if I did something wrong. But I know for a fact that this was my stuff.
You should have just pointed to the guy and said he screwed up.
No. At the end of the day.
You should have just done the same shrug that he did and just walked out.
No, I was just like this. I'm like, so I'm good to go, right? I just kept slowly walking because I did not want to be a part of this. I'm annoyed. It's been like over 30 minutes. Here's the thing. Kudos to the guy I was listening to. Very nice guy. He was so happy that he was so like, he was like, at the end of the delivery, I was just like, "Oh, thanks for waiting, man. Appreciate it." But during that moment, and you can tell the guy handling the host stand, he had enough because I think they knew they messed up. First of all,
That's your job, dude.
also, yeah, don't. Basically, at the end of the day, what annoys me most, like, don't make me wait, and don't be unsure of something that you're not sure of.
Denny's just needs to get their shit together.
I mean, well,
This
In our location.
This
which I-
particular, we won't disclose. There's a reason why we don't go back.
Yeah, motion to blacklist that Denny's for like a year.
As far as night deliveries are concerned, I think twice about it now. As
No,
far
I
as-
mean just like us personally, like motion-
just to go there. Yeah. We're so lucky that we have other places we can go to here.
Let's try, however, at different Denny's. Let's do the meatloaf.
Hey guys, after this
Let's do that.
podcast,
Dominic's on Sunday.
Okay.
yeah. So that was the end. That would annoy me this
All
week.
right. Well, hang on.
You deal with that every day, so.
I was really annoyed at Team YouTube this week. Like I just don't know why that continually is a subject for people being annoyed and people being screwed over. Ethan Klein, host of or creator of H3H3 Productions. I'm sure you guys have heard of his channel.
Bless.
He has come out with a podcast channel on YouTube where he podcasts with several famous YouTubers, stars, pop culture.
Yeah, it's up and coming.
I think it's a fairly recent thing that started popping up. They basically took away his ability to stream the podcast live
Why?
because he talked about Alex Jones.
Oh, you mean that Alex Jones? The one that talked about the frogs and everything. Globalism.
Like, regardless of what Alex Jones is, talking about him on what is supposedly a free platform where he wasn't really promoting him. I think he was just explaining the situation. His channel basically got like a strike, and he was forced to record his podcast and turn.
Okay.
Or he would have been forced to record his podcast.
Okay, I'm not super familiar with the story, so let me clarify. Was he just talking about him on the podcast?
Yes.
Did he play any bits from Alex Jones?
Yeah, did he play anything? Any
I'm sure
content?
he does. I'm sure he did.
That might have been it, because I don't know about YouTube, but I know on Twitch,
Algorithm sucks.
Twitch has a similar problem, where if someone's like been kicked off the platform, you're not supposed to show them at all.
Here's the thing, though. Like, for a creator that big, like he hit them up on Twitter. He's basically like, "Hey, what's going on with this?" And then they come back with like, "Yeah, we're sorry. That was a mistake." Like they.
Oh, okay, so they just messed up.
Yeah, the bigger point is that they basically have bots moderating the community.
Configured to, hey, strike it.
Like there's just constant problems. Like a couple of months ago with Adpocalypse, where you had a bunch of people lose their ads because they weren't providing family friendly content.
It still happens time to time.
Well,
now.
I mean, that's the thing with YouTube. It's impossible to get in contact with a human being.
There is like right now they have this huge issue with
some people get lucky though
with bigger channels where they will lose like 1,000 subscribers at a time, or their subscribers won't get notifications. Like you won't get a notification that a video has popped up from somebody that you follow and you want to be notified when new content goes up.
No, I mean, yeah, you hear, almost every week, maybe even multiple times a week, you just hear about some big YouTube controversy of some guy's channel getting shut down, or basically the same stuff you said. I mean, it's kind of a mess.
It is. Like, I just don't get it. Hire a team of like 20 people and just let them be like the moderators for big channels.
Yeah, let that just be their job.
Like, you can still use your bots for like normal people, but for channels that big to be left up for
grabs.
Sounds like some YouTube capitalism to me.
I think it's just a front for globalism.
It is, and I think. I mean, I didn't say
Like
that it should be entirely left up to bots. Where like you can have a bot do the initial screening, but then like if somebody requests an appeal, like that has to be looked at by somebody.
No, yeah, that absolutely makes sense.
I mean, it's ridiculous that somebody will get like a copyright strike for a song or something when it's like not even in their video. Like that has happened before.
Oh yeah, that's just dumb. Like, why even have that? Why is that not even allowed? Why is that?
God,
that's not even close.
Are we gonna be okay?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna.
Are we?
We're not posting this on there, are we?
Yeah, we are.
Hey, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Oh God, we lost it on.
You know what? This actually reminds me of a story.
God, the waveforms are so high.
I'm so sorry.
It's like when he dropped his phone but times 5.
That's like the second week in a row. I'm so sorry.
I'm keeping that in there. I'm just gonna lower.
You
I'm
have
gonna
to,
lower the volume.
so I don't.
though.
So we can get used to not doing this every time.
I mean, Dominic and I were talking about this, and it's really because there's no alternative
No, there really isn't.
to YouTube. But we did talk about how we see Twitch
Yes.
almost like with the proper funding, and the problem with creating a YouTube competitor is really the video hosting. It's not so much the content, because there is a lot of like YouTube level content on Twitch.
Yeah.
It's just the logistics with video hosting that kind of gives you the trouble.
Yeah, it's so there's the convenience factor too.
But now if somebody backed up by, let's say, a corporation that's owned by the world's richest man, like Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
A measly 150 bill, I think.
Just a measly.
Now, if he's willing up to open up his pocketbooks and go that route and try and
by God.
and try and pick YouTube's pockets, then that could be something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not really sure if they want Twitch to head that way or just to focus on what they do well.
I mean, Twitch is a mess on its own, right? Honestly,
There's a lot of problems with Twitch.
There is.
But
It's not perfect.
I mean, the
either.
one thing is that they do streaming better than YouTube.
Oh, it's
They
so
do YouTube.
amazing.
Actually, I don't. Like, I found that the streaming, like the live streaming on Twitch, to be problematic in its own, and that's another thing. Like, just figure out a way to police your content without leading it to some arbitrary bots that will strike down anybody and anything, basically.
It's like
Without rhyme or reason.
like the last thing I don't want to see is like if when we post this on YouTube, we get strike because we talked about something that isn't we never mentioned. Like we mentioned like I don't know, yeah, and like that's the thing, like something unrelated.
I
The
agree.
Beatles.
You've been flagged for playing I Want to Hold Your Hand.
All right, I think that's enough salt.
It's a lot of salt, especially for me. That's too much salt for anyone to intake.
All right, transitioning to kind of our last quarter here.
Hope you guys enjoyed this so far.
Yeah, you guys got anything you're looking forward to? Anything you did this week?
As for me, not much really. Kind of just, just kind of catching up with some. I still watch anime, Funny enough,
Wait, Denrick, you watch anime?
I don't know. Do I? Actually, funny enough, we were talking about Netflix earlier. I actually just resubscribed to Crunchyroll this week.
You didn't subscribe to that one anime website that charged you like $4?
No, because why would I? That's we talked about it weeks ago, like how like there's so many streaming services on top of others. The whole ad thing that on Netflix, that's just another thing on its own. Yeah, it's kind of nice to like have an access to stuff that you would have to go other means for, and it's just conveniently there. You can watch other stuff. Some other shows are cool. I'm watching Attack on Titan still, Steins Gate Zero, some other stuff that's kind of obscure. We talked. What I'm looking forward to more than anything, nothing really big coming out of the woodworks. Kind of.
Meatloaf.
Will there be any Meatloaf? I should probably watch that one anime that just does food. Was it Food Wars or something?
Super Meat Boy.
Or yeah, there's that. But I don't know if is the 28th gonna be like next week or after next week. Guess what comes out that week? Yakuza 2.
Nice.
I am so looking forward to that.
That was a weird way.
You have no idea.
That was from the loins. That's how you know he means it.
My loins are so tender.
Mochi.
Loins, they're gonna get flagged. We're gonna get
Okay,
flagged.
you know
for
what?
loins.
You know what? I'm instituting a fine system. This is from like Dan Lebitard's show. This is a sports host on ESPN. It's a fine between cast members. I'm instituting a fine.
No.
$5 fine.
No. You know what? I'm instituting a fine.
Don't let this distract you.
This is like this is turning into Netflix.
$5 fine. Take it. You're on a podcast.
$20 fine.
Hey, I'll see the day when I
All in motion to find Dominic. Say aye.
But anyways,
The ayes have it. Dominic is fined
That's not how it
$5.
works.
okay, but anyway, screw you. No, just kidding. I'm looking forward to that this week. If you guys don't know, Yakuza is a kind of free roamish beat 'em up type of game that has gotten a lot of traction for its reinvigorance, reestablishment. And this is supposed to be a remake of the Yakuza 2 that came out on PS2. Man, we talked about the PS2 last like a week or two ago. We talked about the library of games. This is one of them, one of my underappreciated ones. But everyone is appreciating it more now because they're getting all these HD remakes. It's coming out next week. I heard it's one of the better Yakuza games in the series. I started with Yakuza 0.
Will it have BR though?
Did you say BR?
Yeah.
What the
Battle Royale.
Yeah, there's royally gonna be some battles in on the streets of that game.
If there's no BR, I'm not playing it.
0 out of 10. Dominic?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You should play it. It's a great game series, really underrated. Play it.
No BR, don't play it. What does have BR though? Fortnite. Miucin played Fortnite.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually
fresh.
went on it. It's pretty weird. I mean, aiming was weird, right?
Aiming is so weird.
Like, what's so weird about
The sense, my sensitivity isn't even up that high, and if I feel like it's butter.
I mean, there's definitely a way to be consistent with it, but I mean, I don't know if we actually ever really play.
It also we've also been playing a lot of Overwatch, and then
That's
transitioning
probably,
into that.
That transition is probably the weirdest thing.
But I mean, aiming aside though, I mean, just in terms of the battle royale aspect, I can see the good and bad of it. I mean, it's cool to see the numbers go down and you kind of get a little bit more anxious. But at the same time, especially if you don't land where all the action is kind of, you're just walking around for 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, Dominic and I landed on a random part of the island, and I think we were in the top 20 easily.
Playing team,
or
right?
we were playing teams, duos.
And I mean, we weren't even trying to hide. We just couldn't. We landed somewhere weird and we couldn't find anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that it is way more fun to just land in an area with a bunch of people and then hope to take them out. But yeah.
I mean, it was okay. I mean, maybe I might try a little bit more. Actually, build something. I don't think we built anything really.
Is there crossplay?
There is crossplay.
Yeah.
Between is there crossplay with the PS4?
There is, except PS4 and PC. Or actually, no.
No, there shouldn't. Wasn't Sony have their stick up their butts about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I hate that so much.
They also did some shady shit where they, if you were to sign into your PC account on PS4, you can't use it on any other console. So, for example, if you wanted to take it on the go on the Switch, but you were logged into your PS4, it's on the PS4 forever.
Probably one of the more recent things of Sony I don't really like.
But I know for sure, I don't know if there is between PS4 and PC, but I know that for sure there is.
Yeah, for the others there is.
Crossplay between PC and Xbox One, and PC, Xbox One, and the Switch.
I was about to say that Switch was the most recent console to be introduced.
Mobile?
There is mobile.
There is.
Holy crap, there is a
crossplay. But I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it.
Basically, what I played. Looking forward to is I probably shouldn't do this, but I might try out World of Warcraft.
Battle of Azeroth expansion.
It's probably a bad idea, but it's another game that I kind of want to play. And I think they give you the first 20 levels are free or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a horrible idea. I might not be on the podcast next week.
It was nice knowing you, Dominic. Your 4-week run has come to a very gracious, not so gracious end.
So yeah.
So now I feel we're gonna have a really great podcast.
If you don't hear from me, I'm probably playing Warcraft.
It's not like we care.
It's not.
I played The Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Oh my god! I forgot to say I made some dent in that. I still didn't complete it.
But you haven't finished it?
You haven't finished it?
No, because I played it sparingly.
It's like an hour and a half game, man.
I'm kind of just what I did. I actually played more of it last night. I kind of just screwed around a bit. I kind of moved progressively because honestly, there's some parts
So you didn't get to the part with the gear? I played it too.
I got to the part with the water heater.
Okay, no, I didn't play.
You mean the water eater?
The water eater, more per se.
Here's the thing about that. I felt that the payoff was not worth it.
Yeah, don't spoil that.
It's a game where I see that the themes that they're going for, obviously with like the abuse
that's patently obvious.
and that's another game. That's what I was talking about earlier, where they punch you in the face with a trait, and then like so this is what they do. This dude, they show his dad. This isn't that much of a spoiler because you see it the first like 30 seconds. You see his dad like drinking while he's making him breakfast, like he's drinking beer.
Great dad.
And then he'll open up another beer can, and then he'll go and like start drinking whiskey. And then you go to his truck, and then there's beer cans in the back of his truck. And then you go to his rooms, and then there's beer cans on his nightstand. And then you go to the recycling bin, and it's just a shit ton of like beer cans. I'm like, I get it. This dude's an alcoholic. Like, let's.
And then there's some supplementary info, like some papers and documents you find regarding like what led up to that.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, there was a lot of beer cans.
Yeah, it just felt like the themes were kind of like they were interesting, but not really interesting enough for me.
So is this story basically about like a kid getting punched by his dad?
I mean,
that's part of it, but what this setting up, obviously
they imply that the kid has like some sort of effect on the world around him.
Yeah, just to kind of just inquire, if you guys don't know what you're talking about, this is called The Adventures of Captain Spirit. This is actually a prequel to the upcoming Life is Strange 2, which is actually coming out very soon, September,
and
which I'm very excited for because this is what it's going to be about.
The game ends on a to be continued screen.
So where can I play Life is Strange 2?
Anywhere.
Anyway, PC, PS4.
I'm doing it.
You should play the first Life is Strange.
It's great. I mean,
yeah. It
is a fantastic game. We talked about it, I think weeks ago or last week.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games in the last few years because they do that click and choose thing really well. Better, I would say, in some parts better than The Walking Dead. By the way, that's supposed to be coming out soon. I haven't caught up on that.
Clementine's finale.
I know you guys, being the big Walking Dead fans you are, it's not surprising. Well, there are reasons for it. I feel like the Walking Dead Telltale series. I feel like the Walking Dead Telltale series should have ended long ago.
So should that show. I'm looking forward to Gamescom. That's this week or this coming Monday.
What is Gamescom?
It's essentially E3, but in Germany.
Yeah.
So they're going to have... I think they're trying to set a record for most exhibitors in a single conference.
Boy, I wonder how that's going to turn out.
And we're supposed to get a bunch of news on some upcoming games. Like we're supposed to get some news on Doom, probably Battlefield, probably Call of Duty.
We got Doom at QuakeCon, which was cool. It was just a bunch of cool gameplay. That was it.
We did. We might see some stuff for Fallout 76. Probably see some more on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It'll basically be kind of an update of the games coming up as well.
It's called E3 the update.
You know what we should do? We should buy a plane ticket for Denrick and have him cover the con live.
Yeah, the company can pay for it, Denrick.
Yeah, I'll cover it. I'll cover it by streaming it. Maybe. No, don't depend me on that. Probably gonna be busy when that happens.
Okay, you're saying that if we send you to Germany to cover
you wouldn't do it. You'd be like, I got actually a free ticket to Germany.
No, don't buy me a plane ticket. I'll just stream it. If that's even possible.
We're saying that we will pay for you to go to Germany to cover this con.
But you would deny that.
No,
watch it on TV.
No, because like the minute I land in there, I would even forget that it's even happening. You guys will constantly be like, hey, go to the Gamescom. I'm gonna probably get celebrate Oktoberfest early, man.
All right. Any final thoughts, Dominic, with your salt?
I just wish Windows would get their act together. That's all I want.
That's it. All right, Windows, get your act together while we edit this video in a completely different third-party video editor. Maybe we'll come back if you get your ducks in a row.
Yeah, if World of Warcraft doesn't dig you in, then that's fine.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Maybe,
hopefully, but
if Dominic's not playing Warcraft.
So tune in next week.
Goodbye.
And thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.
Cue the outro.